have the vanilla handy. I don't have your 24-hour comic handy, but I figured you'd be showing them. So.
Oh yeah, I've got them to hand. So yeah, I can show them to everyone. Hi,
So
Mark.
we are live. Hello.
Hi, mate. How you doing?
We have,
Very good,
we have
very
a guest. Someone introduce our guest. He's a working class superhero. That's all I know.
The struggle is real.
The legend that is Andy Williams.
Okay.
The legend that is Andy Williams. I'm an idiot. This should have happened over a month ago, but my mom went up and died and threw me out of sync. And
yeah, sorry to hear that, Kyle.
I dropped the ball there, and then we had to coordinate schedules again. But yeah, November was a big brain fart month for me. But Andy's always come through for me. Him and Steve represented Britain to me the best it could possibly be represented when I hooked up with these guys.
It's a lot more shit in real life, Kyle. Sorry.
Yeah, whatever.
He's found that out since he met me.
I'd catch a bullet. I'd catch a bullet for him and Steve. They're just class acts. Immensely talented and ridiculously humble. And if you think me flattering you guys makes you embarrassed, I've been doing it to these poor guys years and years longer. So,
okay. Oh, thanks, Kyle. Thanks for the kind words.
So, so you do art, is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I've got some of my bits and pieces here. I can show you guys if you want.
Cool. Yeah, absolutely.
Before you do that, so Andy, I've been around Andy's house and had tea with him and his missus. He rescued my lackey at the London Comic Mart, who I pay to look after my stuff. At the first London Comic Mart we did, this thing here.
I didn't want to carry it.
My lackey left behind.
Shocking.
Yeah, that night Steve called me on Messenger. He's like, "Hey, we've got this. What do you want us to do with it?"
And he retrieved it for me, so I went round his house and picked it up.
See, I deliberately left it behind so you'd be able to go for tea. So I was twisting it. You have a nice cup of tea
out of it in the end, Mark. So
yeah, exactly. That's why I did it. I was networking for you in a most unusual way.
And I went round and he showed me all his artwork.
Did he show you his Venus etchings?
He did. He showed me his etchings. He invited me around to see his etchings, and I thought they were really, really good. And I said, "Do you sell any of it?" And he said, "No." I thought, "Oh, damn it!" Anyway, earlier this year, I saw something, and he was selling some of his artwork, so I grabbed a few. So I do have some original Andes in my collection.
Cool.
Oh, thank you, Mark. Thanks for your patronage.
Yeah, a pleasure. Didn't charge enough for them.
Well, you're more than welcome to pay some
more.
Buy more.
So, what got you started with your art then? What got you started?
I don't know. I was always drawing from when I was very little. My mum used to buy me these big scrapbooks, like these A3 sized scrapbooks with the thick sugar paper, and I'd just get a pencil and a biro and I'd just draw comic strips in them.
So was it always comic books you drew, was it?
Yeah, it was always comic stories, yeah.
Superhero stuff or the
other? Yeah, I'd make up my own superheroes. And, they weren't particularly well drawn until I got into Planet of the Apes, and I used to draw lots of Planet of the Apes.
Okay.
So I made up an ape rock band called the Ape City Rollers. Obviously, in the 70s.
Yeah,
so they were kind of concerts with the Ape City Rollers playing all their instruments, and then all the screaming fans.
Cool. Did they have a song called "Bye Bye Banana"?
I can't remember any of the actual songs. It was just the whole, the whole vista.
Cool.
Little play on the Bay City Rollers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
they were was a play on "Bye Bye Baby," one of their songs. So I was just going with the theme. So have you actually done any sort of like full comic books or just?
Yeah, I've done a few. Yeah. I mean, the self-published stuff. I mean, I did some. I've been on the fringes of British comics for many years and done sort of bits of lettering and stuff like that here and there. Nothing particularly major.
No.
Well, you were in all the fan scenes with me and Steve, weren't you?
Oh yeah. Oh, well,
Yeah.
obviously
I mean, there's sharing page space with Dave Gibbons, Alan Moore. I brag about that shit all the time. My name came first on issue 1. It's alphabetical fucking order. I mean,
exactly.
So have you
I
got
was
like
at the top, Andy was at the bottom, and
hey,
it definitely didn't work. The talent.
Sounds like a fun night. Anyway, have you got like a character, like a character you've invented or anything? That you use a lot.
I mean, this is my latest comic I put out. It's called.
All right, let me put you on the big screen.
Okay. Called Just One Thing. It's all back to front.
Just One Thing.
That help?
No, it's all right for us. It's upside down now. We can see
So yeah, it's about a guy who finds a demon girl in his bathtub. One day, and then they have.
Does it end well?
After that,
is she some kind of succubus?
No, she's a lovely girl, but just from a different dimension. That's all.
Oh, cool, interesting. How many? Is that just one issue of that you've got so far? Or?
I've only got one issue so far. Yeah.
So where do we buy that from?
Well, you can message me on Facebook, and I can let you have that, or follow me on Instagram and message me.
Yeah. I'll have to get you.
There are a few copies in the Forbidden Planet in Glasgow.
So it's either Forbidden Planet in Glasgow or Instagram you. I think I'll Instagram you.
Yeah.
Instagram
so there were a few copies in Mega City as well, but I know that's kind of in the midst of going through some sordid changes, I think. So
closing down. It's supposed to be closing down the end of January.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, there are. I did used to work there for a couple of years. So one of the guys I know that still works there says there's a possibility it might still keep going in some form, but it's all very much up in the air. But yeah, it looks like it's going to close down in the new year at the moment.
I mean, I run a comic shop, and I've had a bricks and mortar shop in the past, and I've done conventions, and I'm now internet only. And so I understand when it comes to any physical comic shop, I understand their pain, if it may have been some pain that's led to where it is.
I think the guy's retiring, isn't he, Andy?
Yeah. Martin, the guy who runs the shop, is actually retiring.
Yeah. But in terms of carrying it forwards, all I would ever say to anybody is bricks and mortar kill comic shops, and the internet's the way to go. If that helps or not, then there's always an internet only.
I think he's still got a massive collection of big old comics. So I think he is just going to sell online.
Yeah,
from his
there's
own
a lot of less overheads if you're doing it online, isn't it? It's got to be.
Yeah.
Especially, I would have thought. Look, I mean, I don't know if it's an owned building or a rented building, but if it's rented, wow, it's got to cost a lot.
He's been there a long time.
I think he does own the premises.
And that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And he's been there a long time.
The guy who owns everything else on the street, it's all restaurants and bars. He's been trying to buy him out for donkey's years.
Really?
Oh.
That's probably that's probably why it's not going to stay open, because the guy who's bought everything else wants to buy it and is offering a big price, and somebody who wants to carry the store on can't afford that. So
yeah. I mean, we'll see. I mean, fingers crossed. I hate to see the comic shop in Camden go completely, but
So your comic you just showed us, is that a one shot or is it like an ongoing? You're planning for that?
The Just One Thing is not. It'll be an ongoing thing. So it finishes on a. It finishes on a cliffhanger.
To be continued.
To be continued. Yes, with this. So this weird alien guy pops out in the bathtub.
So what was the print run on that, Andy? Because you published it yourself. So how many did you?
I think I did about 50 copies.
Okay.
Just to start with, and obviously once I sell out of those, I'll try more.
Are you printing these yourself at home or something?
No. There's an online printers at Mixam, I think, is quite good. But, I mean, prepare all the files and just send
what
them
do you
off.
find? Well, I mean, I'm just going to, if it's okay with you, I'll just explore a little bit there. Is obviously as trying to get that comic out there.
Yeah.
What are you finding are the best ways, and what are you finding are the barriers, and what do you wish could happen to, what would help the most?
I mean, to be honest with you, Darren, I'm just not sure. I mean, there are fewer and fewer actual comic shops around these days, and a lot of the ones that aren't that keen on taking self-published comics. I mean, I've tried doing a few kind of live, like Comic-Con type things. I just recently, since Mark came around to my place in London last year, we moved up to Scotland. So I've tried a few.
Right. You're not local to me anymore. Then you've moved.
I'm not that local. No, I mean I'm still on the same island, Mark. But just about 400 miles further north.
Okay, that was a fairly big move.
Very much so. Yeah.
What caused you to do that? Was it your what? Was it your wife? What was going on there?
There were a few kind of things about it. My missus has been wanting to move to Scotland for donkey's years.
Yeah.
She just likes cold climates.
And rain.
She likes rain and daylight, that sort of thing. She got a transfer with work. So, my youngest, he just turned 18. He quite liked the look of Glasgow Uni, so I thought, we'll move close there. And then
okay, that works. Yeah. So you're near Glasgow then, are you?
Yeah, just outside Glasgow. Okay. Yeah, it's nice. I love it.
Yeah, nice. Sorry, you were answering Darren interrupted when you said you'd moved to Scotland. I was a bit surprised. So Darren.
All right, yeah. Well, I was just saying that I've tried some of the local Comic-Cons around here, but they tend to be very kind of pedestrian in that you're not getting comic fans turning up. You're just getting people.
Comic-Cons are a right con for not having comic fans at them.
Yeah.
Or comic sellers. Usually, there's very few comic shops that actually sell at Comic-Cons.
Yeah.
Other than the dedicated ones like the London National Hotel stuff that Mark goes to.
Yeah. Yeah, comic marts. So, I mean, Comic-Cons rather than comic marts. Comic-Cons are just, people are just after Pokemons or
it's cosplay and films and toys, isn't it?
Yeah,
anime.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I did sell some of my original artwork there, but my comics didn't get a look in at all. I did about 3 of them, and I didn't sell a single. I think.
Why don't you show it all off? Show us off. Show off some of your artworks. Show off.
All right, sure,
comic books.
Okay, well, this is a book called Dreams from Hell, which Steve and I put together. So this chap on the front is our friend Ben. So he passed away quite a few years ago now, but he kept a really vivid dream diary. He was on a great cocktail of drugs that used to give him these really vivid dreams. So he'd written a lot of these down. So about 50 of his friends illustrated some of his dreams. Me and Steve put this book together. So quite a few of my illustrations in here, but I'll just show you kind of some random.
No, I like that.
So this is one of Steve's things, which is like a mixed media thing. So the spaceship was actually a model that he made out of plasticine or something, and then he hand drew everything else and coloured everything else. This is one of my illustrations, which is
that's great,
based on a kind of a dream of a 70s detective who rides around in an old bus solving.
Do you know what that cover reminds me of? Nick Fury.
Well, I went with a sort of Magnum Force kind of Clint Eastwood's big gun and a big kind of 70s called
Yeah.
Sartaj.
That's
It
really
looks
cool, Andy. I like that.
He looks a bit like the fella from Spinal Tap.
Yeah, well, it's actually Ben himself. So Ben features in a lot of the dreams. He features in a lot of the illustrations. So that's a kind of photo of Ben.
Right.
In that kind of montage there. So yeah, there's lots of different styles, and it was a mammoth thing putting it together because all these. So Ben was he was a musical guy. He was in various bands. He used to put on club nights and things like that. So a lot of the people he knew were artistic types, and very difficult to try and get them to sort of do things. Well, they committed to doing it, and then Steve spent donkey's years chasing them up to actually get something physical, and then very few of them didn't understand print quality, so I had to play around with a lot of the contributions to get them up to print quality. This is another one of mine, which is Ben as a weird Doctor Who character in 70s Berlin or something.
Interesting.
There's a kind of Trumpian dictator taking over the world. So this was a long dream, so I had to do 3 illustrations for this one.
Oh
wow! Steve and his nightmare.
So this is Steve here. So Steve featured heavily in this dream. There's Ben as well.
It's got bottom vibes, that picture. The TV show. That could be Rick and whatever.
I was thinking that guy off the Crystal Maze.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Richard O'Brien. He's a nice.
He does look a bit like Richard O'Brien, Darren.
Yeah. A little bit taller though, but.
So yeah, just flick through a few more of these.
That's definitely going to pick that up. That's great.
And these are all based on dreams that you had.
Yeah. So the cover is actually a wraparound cover. So a lot of the illustrations were done by Estelle, who was Ben's partner at the time he passed away.
Absolutely love that.
And she's a lovely girl, French, mad as a box of frogs. Yeah, but it's a lovely looking book, if I do say so myself. This is my 24-hour comic. I think Carl showed this a couple of weeks ago.
I've got that upstairs. Yeah.
So that's the night after.
Very noir looking cover.
Yeah, well, I did it all on. So the concept of a 24-hour comic is to do a 24-page comic in 24 hours. So like page an hour.
What do you mean, draw it or read it?
Well, depending on your reading age, Darren. You're supposed to create it, so you're supposed to start with the blank pages and no sort of plan to it at all, and then just keep going until you run out of pages or ideas.
Oh wow! And it was 24 consecutive hours you did it over. You didn't do like an hour a day or nothing.
Well, no, I do